Hi everybody, it's Mark from Topaz, and I was having a discussion on the gear page on the Helix thread, my favorite forum, and Fnert happened to mention something regarding all the guitars I have and how do you make a choice and stuff, and I was mentioning about having a large palette and having all these different guitars to use and how helpful that is. So I'm going to illustrate that now by showing you what I did here recording and then going over to where my guitars are, and we'll switch the camera, and I will show you the guitars I use, and I will show you the patch that I created to cop this record live, all within one patch in Helix, and how I didn't use snapshots, and I use snapshots a lot. I just used multiple effects clicked on and off with one switch. So I will show you that. So this song is Save Me. It's a song that I wrote in the 80s and was recorded for our second album in 1989. That album wasn't released. I started working on a demo with Steve in 1995. We did a demo for it on a cassette tape that had limited distribution. And then we started working on it in earnest when I had gotten my studio together, an early version of it. In 2010, we laid the initial drum track and guitar track. I redid the guitar tracks and the bass track in 2013 and I lost my voice and wasn't able to finish it. So now that my voice is back and we're recording the CD for real now, I'm working on it now. So I took all the tracks that I had recorded with my Vetta rig and wiped them, except for the lead, and replaced them with Helix. The bass track was recorded through the Joe Meek 2-rack bass studio channel, and also through the Line 6 bass pod. That's what the bass is. And like I said, all the rhythm guitars are Helix, and the lead guitar is Vetta. So the first guitar I used was an Electromatic, Gretsch Electromatic, that looks like a Duo Jet, so I had it customized to be like a Duo Jet. I put the T-arm pickups in it, like the D-arm pickups that was in George Harrison's original Duo Jet. I put the vibrato tailpiece on, and of course I had to stick my MIDI pickups in there so I could run it with my guitar synthesizers. So that's going into Helix, and Helix, I have a patch for Helix that is an AC30 and a JTM45. So this is what it sounds like. This is the Duo Jet. Okay, so then I did a track with a black, it's either Xaviere or Xaviere. I've yet to find out how people pronounce that. And that has TV Classic, TV Jones TV Classic Filtertrons in it. Very sparkly, really nice. And I'm running that through Deluxe vibrato channel. So here is that. And you're going to hear, sounds very different. So it's cleaner than with the AC30 and the JTM45, which had a little bit of breakup. Now, I'm going to use, on this one, a thin red art core, Ibanez art core, that kind of looks like a Gretsch, and that's got the same pickups in it, but sounds completely different. I'm also running that through a divided by 13 run very clean, but this one is a stereo channel. If you notice, the other two, left and right, I run mono channels left and right so that I can decide where I want to put it in the stereo field. I can even put them together and collapse them into one and have it all the way on one side. So that gives me options. This is running in stereo because I put a chorus on it, and I wanted it to have a nice shimmer sound. So again, same pickups, same type of guitar, except that the art core is thin and big, and the Xaviere is thick like a 6120. Same pickups, different sound. So here's that. Okay, so here's what it all sounds like together in the track. Okay, so this, again, I haven't mentioned it, but this song is not mixed in any way. This is just raw tracks. I'm in the middle of the mix, but I wanted to give you an idea. So if you notice, if I just put the guitars on, all the guitars, even though different guitars, different sound, it makes one big guitar sound. So that's 3 guitars. Okay, so now let's go to the distortion guitars. So for the distortion guitars, I use my Duo Jet, and I use the thin red hollow body Ibanez Art Core. And I use a JCM 30, I use a JCM 800 on the Helix. So it's the same patch for both guitars, but they're going to sound very different. So for the first patch of the Duo Jet, I'm playing the chords that I will normally play live. Why? Because in the recording, I have a distortion guitar, I have a clean guitar, I'm going to have a string section, I'm going to have different guitar synths and stuff like that to get a big soundscape. Live, I do that with the GP10 is going to do a guitar with a chorus. My guitar synths will fill out the other stuff. So I have to play chords that will follow that will follow the clean guitar chords. So I laid a guitar track with the distortion guitar playing that chord structure, and this is that. Okay, so now being it's a recording, as I mentioned on the thread, that when you have a recording as opposed to live, people hear it over and over and over again, and they can pick it apart, and you need to make things interesting. So I use the Ibanez Art Core hollow body, but I hit like fifths and triads, very chunky, using the same, you're going to hear how different this sounds, same patch for the guitar, but this tightens it up a bit. So here's that guitar. See that? That's a hollow body guitar with TV Jones Gretsch type pickups. Sounds like a Les Paul, but it's not. And here are those 2 guitars together. Okay, so that's the chorus of the song. All right, so let me put it in the track. You'll hear it in the track. Okay, so here it is with the whole track running. Oops, sorry. So now let's go to the lead, which is the Vetta. So you can hear how nice the Vetta fits in with the Helix. I mean, obviously in a perfect world I would have liked to have, and I could have just recut the thing with the lead with Helix. But I don't know, it was a one-off, I liked it. And I was using my Ibanez, I was using my Yamaha 1221M guitar. for the lead, and running that into the Vetta, which on the left side was a deluxe, Tweed Deluxe with a tube screamer, and the right side was a Marshall with a Variac. And I probably had a distortion modeler before it, using the Line 6 drive to run it for the lead. So, this is going to be the lead in the track with the Vetta playing the lead and all the rhythm guitars, the Helix. And here we go. Let me get this over here. Okay, so there you go. Again, rough mix, but you get to hear what those sound like. Now we're going to go over to where the guitars are. I'll show you the guitars I use, and I'll show you the patch I created for Helix, and how awesome Helix is. Helix is God. All right, let's go over there. So here we are with the guitars. It's going to be a tough time hearing me because I got it set up for the L2Ts and the subs. I want you to hear what this sounds like through my rig, not through the interface. So this is just the mics on the Zoom Q8 camera, same as it was over there. Just the mics from there. Now, here's the Gretsch with the TR-Mon pickups in it, the vibrato piece in it. I got my MIDI pickup in the saddles here. But right now, what we're doing is we are doing my patch here, which is the Vox AC30 and the Marshall JTM45. I got it on the middle pickup, and here's the rhythm. So there's that there. Now, I flick one switch, and here's the rhythm, a chorus. Switch. Nice sound with this guitar. I love this guitar. Now, I use the neck pickup on the TV Jones pickups here, which I also used on Brand New Love that we just recorded. Sound. So for this patch, I use a divider by 13. But I put a chorus on it. The divided by 13 patch. Now, if I go to the Save Me patch that I use, that I'm going to be using live, that I have here with Helix. Again, I forget where I put this. There it is. And I use that one button and use the treble pickup. Here's what I did. Nice sound. Let me switch back to the Gretsch and I'll show you what I'm going to do live. But when I play the lead, I'm going to throw in a kinky boost, a compulsor drive, along with the Minotaur, and a simple delay. Button. All right, so here's what I did. I don't have the camera pointed at it, but you guys know the Helix. So I have the Vox and the JTM, and I have each one has its own cabinet. Okay, so those are on. On the next line, you have 4 lines. I had so the second line down, third line down. We have 4 lines. Third line down, I have the JCM 800 as just as a whole amp and cab mix thing. That's off. The Minotaur's off. So I highlight the Vox. I press one of my switches, and it says, "Do you want to assign it to the foot switch?" I press OK. Then I go to the next amp. I do the same thing. Then I go to the next cabinet. I do the same thing. Then I go to the next cabinet. I do the same thing. Then I go to the Minotaur, which is bypassed. I do the same thing. I go to the JCM 800 that's bypassed. I do the same thing. So now I have 6 switches, 6 effects, all switched to one switch, which is going to turn it on or off with one switch. So, go from here to here. One switch. Helix is awesome. So I figured I'd show you this. Now, again, as you see, I don't know if you could tell from this Q8 thing, but if you were in the room, you would hear there's a vast difference in the sounds between these different things. Now, even the Xaviere and the Ibanez, same exact pickups. Same exact pickups. Let's look at that for a second. See the thickness of this? It's thicker. It's hollow body. Same pickups. And I think it's a little bit thin. But yet it sounds exactly. So here's this Les Paul. Okay, so now here's this Les Paul. Completely different. This even feels different. It's heavier. But same brand. I think they're the same pickups. It may not be. I'm not sure. But they sound different. Even if I have guitars with the same pickups in them, sound completely different. So I got a big palette. I got all these different sounds to choose from, which is awesome. So that's why I have all these guitars. I can paint with all these different sounds. Have a nice day.